An African proverb says the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Today, we're planting a seed again. A seed with a difference. A seed with the power to fuel innovation. That enlightens people and empowers them. That makes ideas come to life. A seed for a strong community, for a progressive country, for Africa.
For Africa.
Yeah, congratulations. So you're Director for Venture Capital and Startups.
Yes. Microsoft launched in February of this year the For Africa initiative, which looks at really 3 dimensions in Africa. One is innovation, and looking specifically at how do we actually promote and support startups, entrepreneurs in Africa. The second is around skills, which is how do we actually build the talent pool in Africa. Third, last but not least, is affordable devices. How do we make sure that someone like Jeff actually can afford a device in Africa that's on Windows?
One comedian in this house. Go on.
So it's based on this that in February that Microsoft made the short-term but also long-term commitment to actually work on the competitiveness of Africa. And when we're looking at competitiveness, innovation lies at the heart of it. And we are focusing on a few countries, starting with Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia. And in looking at Kenya specifically, in October of this year, we launched our partnership with 88MPH through the Microsoft Ventures partnership, which looks again at providing mentorship, training, seed fund support to startups. Yeah. And I think in giving recognition to 88MPH is that this is exactly the type of model that we're looking at, which is how do we actually help startups turn ideas into creation? How do we turn ideas into businesses? And how do we actually help them grow from being a local solution to regional and ideally a global solution?
There's something called Windows for Africa. What is that?
It's actually a phone that we have come up with, and in partnership with Huawei in February of this year, we launched an affordable device, a smartphone that has all the features, but affordable in different markets, so that we can actually create the adoption and spur the adoption of smartphones in Africa. And along with that, we're looking also at expanding tablets and devices as we're moving forward this year. Windows phones, Nokia, any range that you're looking for, we'll provide.
Do you agree? Does anybody here agree? And the way forward for this continent, do you see that? Do you see it?
We're definitely here investing in Africa, and this is the second largest investment that Microsoft has made outside of the US after China. So our commitment really is to make sure that we have tens of millions of devices in the market, that we have put 1 million SMEs online by 2016, which is a really large target. And last but not least is having at least 200,000 people trained, both students and also those that are already in the workforce by 2016. Kenya has shown tremendous potential in terms of what we can see. And I think just to add to it, and I think there's a lot of question around why is Microsoft actually looking at investing in startups? And our investment really at this very early stage is actually seed funding. So we're not looking at taking equity, we're not looking at taking IP of any of the companies in the solution. So it's purely long-term sustainability and helping develop the ecosystem in Africa.
Bottom line, when you see companies like Abiola, and they do their own games and stuff, when you see the talent that we saw earlier on, I mean, what does that tell you?
Look, I think someone like Abiola is definitely the type of entrepreneurs that we want to promote, not because they're developing on Windows, but really because we see the potential in actually developing solutions. And our support is in specific IT companies, but also looking at cross sectors. So health, agriculture, education are some of the big sectors that we are seeing promise in terms of the solution development.
At the end of the day, with Microsoft, I mean, are you committed to this continent? Are you here to stay? Because the competition now is kind of tough there.
What competition?
No, you didn't.